Okay, I'm back. YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Got a doozy for you. This is going to be a, man, this is a very, very disturbing video. It's kind of a follow-up to China's Not Our Friend video I did a while back. YouTube, I'm in a state control environment. There's no one here, no children, no women, no one else in the house. Firearm is unloaded. There is nothing in the chamber, and there's nothing in the tube. We have a clear firearm, okay? Yeah, this was crazy, man. I followed to China, man. Like, shout out to the U.S. Army, man. And if y'all looking for a good organic biodegradable gun cleaner, and this is a reusable bottle, check these boys out. SC14, veteran owned, served our country, U.S. made. You see what I'm saying? So we got to support each other. Man, my shout out to my son in South Korea. But yeah, man, I talked to him the other day, like for Thanksgiving, but he couldn't go into no detail. But bottom line, talked to him not too long ago, and he said, yeah, they were pissed off when they did that martial law without letting the U.S. Army know about it. A lot of people that they thought the mass public was not privy. The whole military wasn't privy, man. That's a problem right there. And see, that's where I think that's where the problem is, because now it seems like even the allies don't even listen to what we say and what we're supposed to do. And we over there supposed to be helping them out. So I don't understand that, man. Like martial law, and you didn't even tell the U.S. military? That's crazy to me, man. So I'm gonna show you guys a couple clip real quick. Now, I don't know if you heard in Ontario, California. It's a little bit outside of Los Angeles. Rancho Cucamonga, you know, Inland Empire. Anybody know that area? Know what I'm talking about? Ontario. They have a little airport there, actually. Oh, I discovered that because I was flying in one time, couldn't get into LAX, and some guy said, "Hey, do you know they got an airport in Ontario?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So flew in there, and then I think I saw Alonzo and LeVar Ball in the airport because they live in Chino. Chino is right down the street from Ontario. So, and I didn't realize that they had a private jet, and they fly out of there all the time. So anyway, that's another story. But hey, check this clip out right now. This cat was busted in Ontario for smuggling guns back to China, doing all kind of crazy purchases. And again, he was here on a visa. We need to get rid of those student visas. The visa, to me, the student visa should work like this. Your ass need to be enrolled into a United States university, four-year university. Don't apply for a visa and then tell me you're going to go to school, because that shit ain't working out. Those 9/11 dudes were on visas. So we need to get rid of that whole visa program. But check this cat out, man. What is this clip on this right quick? Check this out.
Breaking news this morning, federal officials have filed a complaint against a local undocumented immigrant who allegedly shipped weapons to North Korea.
Authorities say the man was living in Ontario. KTLA's Alina Bobian live in downtown LA with what the U.S. attorneys have just revealed there. Alina, good morning.
Frank, Jess, good morning. That's right. The U.S. Attorney's Office just wrapped up this press conference here at the federal building. Now, they say this is an issue of national security, and the suspect in this case, well, he admitted to FBI investigators, essentially saying that he was chosen to do this job because, quote, he is good at smuggling. Now, take a look at these photos. These are some of the images shared with us during the press conference, evidence tied to the case. According to the criminal complaint, the suspect is a person by the name of Shenghua Wen, a 41-year-old Chinese national who was here in the United States illegally, specifically living in Ontario, California. He was taken into custody today for allegedly buying and exporting guns and ammunition to North Korea at the direction of North Korean agents who funneled to him $2 million to purchase the equipment. We're told that last year in 2023, he shipped 2 containers of guns from Long Beach to Hong Kong, where they were then smuggled to North Korea. Additionally, according to prosecutors, Wen admitted to trying to obtain military uniforms in an effort to help North Korean soldiers disguise themselves and conduct, quote, a surprise attack against South Korea. Now, a little background on this person. Wen came to the United States on a student visa in 2012 and lived in Ontario. He told investigators he met with North Korean officials in China before coming to the United States and they directed him to purchase these firearms, the ammunition, and technology on behalf of Pyongyang. Wen is charged with conspiracy to violate U.S. sanctions on North Korea. During the recent raid, FBI agents recovered 50,000 rounds of ammunition from Wen's car.
In a search of his home, including a van parked outside of his home, we found over 50,000 rounds of ammunition, which Mr. Wen admitted he was planning to send to North Korea. We also found pieces of high-grade technology in his home that he was also planning to send to North Korea. This included a chemical threat identification device and a device for detecting hidden listening devices.
Okay, I'm back. All right, you saw it. Man, isn't that crazy? And this dude clearly was plugged in by China, straight nationalist, smuggling guns. I was just saying, like, a lot of our firearms in America, they're coming from people hooking these people up with these firearms, and they ended up in the wrong people's hands. And yeah, those guns was not meant to be for U.S. purposes. Who knows where they gonna end up, where they ended up. And then you got to figure that's just one dude they caught. How many other dudes is out here doing the same thing that's running around in our country, smuggling firearms, all kind of wild ass shit, not to mention drugs and all kind of illicit substances and stuff like that. It's completely out of control, man. And people just act like, you know, this stuff doesn't exist, but it does exist, man. China's not our friend, bottom line. Canada's not our friend. Mexico not our friend. All these countries that are surrounded, we are surrounded by. Canada on top, Mexico on the bottom. They're not our friends, man. People think Canada's just a little sovereign little country, man. Yeah, they sovereign, all right, but they let a lot of criminals and terrorists come through their country because they don't have extradition. They're one of those countries where if another country's looking for you, they won't extradite you. So that works perfectly well if you're trying to get into America, if you're a bad guy, because you can just go right to Canada and sneak across the border and you in there. So it's not a really good look for us. Not a good look for our troops. Shout out to the U.S. Army and the other armed forces. It's just not a good look, man. And now as things are escalating and it's getting more and more volatile by the day. And meanwhile, I just saw a report on the fentanyl. It ain't going nowhere. It's actually doubling down. So you're going to start seeing a lot more overdoses. Like I said, in San Diego, they already have the Narcan vending machines, and pretty much anybody can go get Narcan for free. And to be honest with you, if you're going to be a first responder, you probably need to have Narcan in your bag, because more than likely anybody overdosing nowadays is more likely on fentanyl. And that's why I keep telling y'all, if y'all go to these little house parties and your friends' parties and people passing around drugs or anything, you don't know who these people are, man. You're taking a high risk that it could be cut and laced with fentanyl. And you have to be really, really skilled to use fentanyl without it being lethal. And these guys in the streets are just experimenting with it. So they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just getting it and they're putting it in stuff, and people are dying. And it's a problem, man. It's wrecking our country right now. And with that being said, watch this clip right here. Check this out. This is a two-part one right here. Check this out. This is the other reason why we can't be trusting China.
Members of Congress are calling the influx of Chinese fentanyl an act of asymmetric war against the United States. The Drug Enforcement Agency estimates 90% of fentanyl comes from Chinese companies that not only operate legally inside of China, but are also subsidized and paid for by the Chinese Communist Party. China sends precursor chemicals, which are then processed and manufactured into synthetic opioids by Mexican drug cartels that then smuggle them into the United States.
Fentanyl precursor chemicals are made in China.
It is not at all an area of dispute that China provides the fentanyl that comes into the United States.
On the other hand, China claims the fentanyl crisis is entirely an American domestic issue that's being blamed on them. China claims Big Pharma's opioid corruption, weak U.S. laws, and a culture of American drug glorification are really to blame. This disagreement is a major problem for the world's two biggest economies. Attempts to stop this have failed, leading to calls for U.S. military intervention against Mexican cartels to stop the substance's devastating effects.
Growing calls from Republicans to send the U.S. military into Mexico to combat drug cartels.
For example, in 2022, over 107,000 Americans died from overdoses in the United States, and fentanyl poisoning became the leading cause of death of Americans 18 to 45 years of age. A 2019 paper found that prescription opioids accounted for 44% of the decline in labor force participation among men. In asymmetric warfare, one nation seeks to exploit the other's relative weakness. In this case, China's accused of exploiting America's appetite for illicit drugs and weaponizing fentanyl. When U.S. President Donald Trump and China's President Xi Jinping engaged in an all-out trade war in 2018, the Chinese government then increased tax breaks and subsidized companies that were exporting fentanyl abroad to punish the United States. When Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan in 2022 against China's wishes, they stopped all cooperation between Chinese and U.S. law enforcement agencies that were working to fight fentanyl trafficking. It's clear the fentanyl crisis has become deeply ingrained in foreign diplomacy today. But the idea of weaponizing substances against an adversary is nothing new. Because if there was ever a country to understand the power of addiction in geopolitics, it's China. Qin Gang, China's former ambassador to the United States, said, quote, "The Opium War started a century of humiliation for China. Some Americans believe that China is the primary source of fentanyl in the United States. Some even fantasize that China's shipping fentanyl to the United States as a form of payback for the Opium Wars, and that North America has been flooded with precursor chemicals from China, stifling international efforts. The theory is that China is using the same tactic that was used against them, but now they're turning it against the West. Over 170 years ago, in the mid-19th century, the Opium Wars led to..."
Now I know that was a little long, but I just wanted a dude to break it down a little better, because the way he broke it down makes a lot of sense, and I like the little graphics with the maps showing how they take little small parts of fentanyl and then put it all together when they get up over here. And yeah, man, it's a big business, huge business. And when you see these fentanyl busts, one has to say how much got through. If that bust is an indicator of what's coming through the border, then we're in trouble, man. It's a lot of shit coming through the border, and we're just standing by acting like ain't nothing happening. And the problem with it is, like I said, it's these upper law officials that are involved with it, and these dirty sheriffs and law enforcement, border patrol. Everybody is on the take, man. They're not doing their jobs correctly. Now, a lot of them want to have their cake and eat it too, meaning that they want to keep their careers, but then want to do what the evil forces want them to do, and then act like they had nothing to do with it. You ain't gonna be able to do both ways, man. If you out there facilitating, helping people bring in fentanyl and, you know, exploiting all kind of young kids for child trafficking, all that kind of stuff, you're just as culpable as anybody else, man. And that's where we're at right now as a country, man. Everybody's being exploited. Every angle is being basically just depleted with any morality. Like this, you just can't. It's hard to trust anything right now, what you see, and that's why mainstream media is taking a big hit. That's why, if you notice, CNN's up for sale. All these networks, no one's watching them no more, because people are kind of tired of the lies. You know what I'm saying? People, they're getting fed up, because now with the surge of YouTube grossing so much money and people create their own news channels and platforms, people going to them and fact checking it, and they go like, well, wait a minute, that's facts, you know. And that's why I like to mess with KTLA and a couple other West Coast networks, because they tend to not really give a shit who's the criminal is, and they just gonna show whatever it goes down across their desk, they gonna run it if it's worthwhile. But man, that's kind of disturbing though, man. All that damn drugs coming, all that fentanyl, and then, like I said, you don't know, they probably gonna start putting that stuff in candy, all kind of stuff, man. And if you get that fentanyl with the wrong person that don't know how to really balance that shit out, sayonara, it's lights out, man. It's lights out. One hit, you can be gone. And that's why if you come across some white powdery substances and stuff like that, don't touch it. Make sure your kids, you got kids that like to be, you know, running around in public and picking up stuff. This ain't the time to be doing none of that, man. It's very, very dangerous right now. You don't know what's going on, but what we do know what's going on is that a lot of once we decided with the North American Free Trade Agreement, we're going to go ahead and get into business with people that were traditionally our enemies and think that nothing was going to happen on the back end. That's it. That opened up all the espionage. That's what opened up all the foreign nationalists coming over here, is by doing business with them. And we can blame some of the biggest companies in the world, like Apple and Google and Meta and all these companies. They're all in bed with communists. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what other way to say it, man. We do business with communist nations all the time. So it's funny, kind of odd that now you got all this turmoil that are involving Western civilization type nations and then communist nations. So the rubber got to meet the road. Or is it going to be freedom, or is it going to be communists with communists with a socialist, so to speak, concept, meaning that you're going to have an open market, but you're going to control all the media, what's being said, language, this, that, and the other. And that's where it's going to get really dicey at. So we'll see what's going on. And Trump looks like people don't want to do the positions he's appointing them for and all that. Because there's a lot of stuff about to come down, man. Like anytime a president comes out and one comes in, they tend to start letting all the dirt out. And there's no accountability for the exiting group. They don't have no accountability for it. So it's just going to fall upon the upcoming president. So he's going to inherit a whole bunch of shit. You know, he's going to inherit fentanyl, foreign nationalists, border wide open, homelessness. He's going to have his hands full when he get done. And like I said, it's not going to all be his fault. But one thing's for certain: 2 years into his campaign, 2 years into his presidency, if people don't see any different, they're going to start coming for his neck too. So it's going to be interesting to see, but there's definitely a lot on the table right now in America. And that's why I say, man, go ahead and get armed, go get some training, get all your firearms that you think you're going to need. And you just never know, man. You just never know. And now these foreign nationalists are already over here. So you just never know what could happen. So it's going to be interesting to see in the next few months what's going to go down for our country. But I'm more concerned what's going to go down for our troops, you know, our boys over there in South Korea, because that's got to be nerve-wracking, man. You just sitting back and then all of a sudden martial law, and then you find out that they ain't even alert the U.S. government. Man, that's crazy, man. But man, let me know what you guys think about this video, what you guys think about. You think China's our friend? You think Canada's our friend? You think Mexico's our friend? I don't think we have that many friends. I think we have people that tolerate us just to let their people come up in here and then put their plan down that they want inside of America. That's why they're trying to slowly tear down all the foundational things that America was about. So when new people come in, they don't have no allegiance to the country. You see what I'm saying? You know, the Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem, all that stuff. They're going to try to get rid of all that stuff, because pretty soon you'll have 20, 30 million people that aren't even born in this country living here. That's a large amount of people that to be in a country getting all our freedom and all our luxuries off our troops' backs, but don't have no allegiance. If you don't believe me, if you work in an office building or you work corporate or something like that, go look at your office cubicles and stuff. They'll be in there and they'll have their Turkey flag. They'll have their Palestinian flag. They'll have a Canadian flag. They'll have a, whatever nationality they are. They're going to have a little flag sitting on the side of their desk, and they're going to be proud to be still part of their country that they're actually from, but you ain't going to see no U.S. flag. And that's the big difference right there. People come here for advantages that their country cannot give them, but they do not come here to embrace our cultures and what we are as a country. And that's why if you talk to people who are from Europe and from all these other places, they all go back every other year. Well, damn it, shit, there's people in America that's never left the state they lived in. So it's a big difference. So we got to pay attention to what's going on, and hopefully things can get a little bit better. But watch your kids and watch people you come across in contact. And like I said, if you one of those people that steal pop pills and buy drugs and stuff, I ain't trying to judge you. I'm just saying this is probably the most dangerous era in American history to be doing any of that stuff. And just keep that in mind. Big Pharma is in with the fentanyl crisis. They are in it. They're actually pushing it too. So, you want to pop a Xanny and all that stuff from some dude off the street, you may not actually wake up because it might be laced with fentanyl, man. So, man, this is my little public address message to everybody. Just be safe, be careful. Like I said, I ain't judging nobody. If you still partying, doing all kind of crazy drugs, just be careful, man. Be careful what you're doing, man. Be very careful. But yeah, man, into the range, and man, I kind of hate the fact you can't shoot shotguns, man. So we gonna see. I'm gonna go to this range probably this weekend, just to get some shots off. But other than that, man, get you a shotgun, protect yourself, get you anything you can, get your hands on, and just be ready to go, because they already here. So it's gonna be a rough one, man. Let me know if y'all want to get a patch, man. You know, hit me up on my email, you know, in my description of my channel. I'll shoot you a patch out, man. $15 to go ahead and help the boy out, man. But yeah, man, let me know, man. You think China's our friend? Mexico, Canada, do you think these countries really care about us? I don't know. I don't think so. And clearly, they're all in on this fentanyl stuff. So, hey, it's your boy Eyes and Ears Tactical. Like, comment, subscribe. Got that Mossberg 590. Got slugs. Got buck. We got that flight control. Hey, man, this is definitely what's stopping right now. I'm telling you right now. Get ready, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.